What would you say are some of the key principles that apply to governance generally?
One of the things that's most important is just the idea of everyone having a voice. And that may not necessarily be like a one-to-one, everyone has the same amount of vote power or voting rights, but you have to at least have the access. You have to at least have your voice come into consideration. It shouldn't be completely top down. It shouldn't be like one person kind of rules all. Some people will disagree with me on that. That's just like how I really think about things. Something I found really interesting when I was doing the pieces on co-ops, when you're looking at how the workers operate, how they kind of interact, they're typically happier and more productive actually than in regular firms because it's like you have more ownership of the entity, of the company or whatever it is, and you have more say in how it happens, and you have more upside when it does well. So when you do that, you're just more incentivized to make sure that things go according to plan, things go as they should. I think honestly, at the end of the day, incentivization is very powerful. It should be used in certain places, should not be used in certain places. But I think figuring out where incentives are best is going to be really key for the DAO space. We're definitely not there yet. We have a long way to go. But that's just one of the things I'm thinking about.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier too something else that was like a thing that DAOs can improve upon, and that's this token-based governance system. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what you see as being some of the problems with token-based governance and what you propose as a better solution to what we
Oof,
have now?
I feel like I'm going to get in trouble there. So I'll just give a quick example. Like Uniswap has gotten a lot of flack for their governance. It is fully token based. VCs do own a large amount of it. And there are a lot of questions on, okay, who really gains the most from the decision making that happens? Who is again best incentivized? So there's a lot of questions around things like that. And we see that same kind of style in a lot of the various DAOs, especially the DeFi DAOs. But at the same time, we're seeing a lot of experimentation in terms of like hybrid models between like tokens and NFTs, which I think is a really good primitive or even just like raw NFT governance. That none of these are perfect, but at the same time, we're like, okay, let's see if this works. Okay, that's not working. Let's try this. So I think the combination and learnings that are coming from all of these are really helpful, actually. Which again is why there's so much buzz around this idea of soulbound tokens and what it means when you're not fully token based, when you actually have non-transferable governance and what that means and what conclusions going to come out of that. I do definitely try to avoid like this is the best style or this is my favorite style because I'm completely open-minded in terms of figuring out what people are doing. I am a big fan of token and NFT hybrid governance, but I'm just kind of watching and seeing at this point. And I think also we haven't really gotten there yet, but there's definitely going to be a trend towards contribution based governance. So the people who are doing certain amounts of work or certain levels of work will have more say in certain scenarios or in certain structures. I think that's going to be really interesting. But the key to that is going to be like contribution management, which hasn't really existed yet, but we're kind of working on as well. Yeah, it's just really interesting to see all the different kinds of things popping up, and I'm just really excited.